I got thinking about it last night, and I realized that this church is my center of gravity. I was baptized here more than 80 years ago when I was not even aware. I came to Sunday school here. I became a Girl Scout here, sang in the choir. I was married here. All my children were baptized here, and they were all confirmed here in this church. The church has been my whole center as long as I can remember. This church is me. It's everything to me. I guess that's all I can tell you. It's where I belong.
I never in my life would like to go to another church. I'm completely happy with it. I've gone through 6 ministers and was very fond of everyone and can say nothing but good about all of them.
I don't know what I'd do without this church. I wouldn't think of going somewhere else.
It only seemed right having the wedding here, you know what I mean? We couldn't have it anywhere else. Where else could we have it? You know? Nowhere that would mean as much as it would be having it here.
Then a tragedy came into our lives. My husband's son, my stepson, was killed in a freak parachuting accident. And Andy wanted to become a member of a church. And I thought that was wonderful, and I agreed right away. And I said, as long as I could pick the church. And I knew that I belonged here, that my heart was here. And he said, oh yes, absolutely. So we just made our temporary home more permanent, and we became members of the church.
We're a very strong family, those of us that are here. We stick by one another. We help one another. We pray for one another. We sing with each other. We praise with each other. We do everything together. When you think of outside of this church, when you leave here, you are still the church. The church is still with you.
My family's been a part of this church for quite some time. My grandmother was counseled here before she passed. Her funeral was here. My only grandmother. It's a very strong church for me. I love being here. It feels like I'm with my grandmother and God's with her. It's awesome.
I basically was baptized in the church, and my folks actually belong to the Berlin Church. So
your parents were married in the parsonage.
Yeah, and came up through the Sunday schools and the PF and that. And
yeah, we were married here in 1961, and then we raised our children here and worked here as sexton and assistant for 30 years, which his mother had done some of that as being an assistant before we started. She kind of trained us. So we've been connected with the church well, they were married in 36, so it was at least back that far. So we raised our children, and now we're raising our grandchildren.
Well, it's just a family, and my family, and Dave's obviously, has
hello,
and Belle's, and you.
No, we're
everyone is closely related, either actually by family or just friends, but everyone's close and everyone helps each other out.
It's like my sister.
It's fun.
We're a lot closer than most other churches, I think, because when
Especially
I visit different churches, I see.
all the people are
Because at like St. Paul's, there's like 2 sections, so it's like difficult to know people.
And it's a little more laid back here. It's not like it's all reading from the book, and because I've been to Catholic churches where you're sitting there for an hour just listening to them read from the Bible. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, listening from the Bible, but
it's no fun. You can't crack a few jokes here and there.
Yeah, like I went to
you're not staying on topic, but like you get to have fun and stuff. We don't just sit there and we're like, we have to do this, that, and the other thing. We're just.
I went to church with my friend, and we went to St. Paul's, and it was like. It's not the same because there was like 200 people there, and it's just difficult to like know people and like who they are and to like hang out with them, because like here we're like friends with all the other kids, but like there it's it's like you don't even like know the kids sitting like in front of you.
Yeah, here we walk in and like we say hi to each other and we wave, and like if you walk into a church like that, you just kind of walk in and sit and things start.
Even if you have friends or whatever, it's just like you do anything, you go anywhere, you just see people and they don't. It's just weird. It's so much different.
I grew up in a very rural part of Pennsylvania, and I went to church with my grandmother every Sunday. I went to a church that she had and her entire family had been members of since her grandfather's generation. So, back into the late 1700s, early 1800s. So I had quite a tie to that church. When I moved to Connecticut, I didn't have any sense of community or any sense of belonging. I mean, I went to college here and my husband's family was here, but there was nothing that really made me feel like I belonged. And then I was invited to an event that was held here at this church. And I thought, that was a really nice church and those were really nice people. So we came back the next Sunday. I was newly married and I was pregnant with my first son. So I was really looking for something. I had been to a few other churches in the area, and I just didn't feel that sense of belonging and sense of community when I got there. So I came back a number of times, and I was approached by some of the members that I knew outside of the church about whether I would like to become a member. And I did. I wanted to become a member, so I did. And the community and the belonging that I've found here makes me feel at home, just like that little tiny church in Pennsylvania did where I grew up.